Hey, middle schoolers, welcome to week 9 of study skills. This is the week of November 9th through the 13th. You're going to notice something a little different. Even though every week I kind of talk to both of you in your videos, your playlists look a little different. This week I combined our playlists just for ease of use and to kind of get ready for when Mrs. Pitcher takes over when I'm on maternity leave. So I will talk through our slides. Bear with me. Something to remember, if you know you're going to be gone on a Tuesday, you are welcome to join our Monday Zoom, um, where we kind of talk about last week and then I introduce the information for this week. So this is my Zoom. I use the same Zoom every week. You can jump on and join us. So for our virtual students on Monday, this is kind of the stuff we'll be talking about in class on Tuesday. So we're moving into the idea of learning more about schema. So you're going to be reading pages 110 through 114 in your study skills book and highlighting any important information you find. Okay, so I want you to think about what schema is, what does that mean, and why is it important to understanding things. Virtual students will also be using what they learned. I'm going to have some videos that you can take a look at, and I'll post those here as well to learn more about KWL and concept maps. And you're going to use that information to complete page 115 and 116 in your study skills book and upload it to Google Classroom. So basically what you're doing on pages 115 and 116 is you're thinking about, after you've read all about schema, you're thinking about what does that mean? So brainstorm what you already know about schema and pre-learning schema activation techniques. You're going to scribble your notes here. Okay, you might need to do a little research on the internet about what schema really means, but you're just jotting some things down. So we know that it's some kind of reading or learning strategy, but I want you to tell me what you think it is already. Then you're going to do a KWL, which as you I'll post those videos in here like I said, but as you take a look at what a KWL chart means, basically the K means what do you already know about schema, the W means what do you want to know, and the L means what you learned, okay? So you're kind of doing this backwards because you've already learned a little bit about schema, but maybe you're going to tell me a few things you already knew about it, a few questions, and then a few things that you learned, okay? Then on page 116, you are going to come up with some questions. You're kind of creating questions and answering your own questions. And then for 4, you're doing a concept map. So in the middle, it says schema activation technique. So it wants you to jot down as many things as you can to activate your schema. What can you do? What can you do to activate your schema? So I want you to have at least 10 of the bubbles filled in. You don't have to fill them all in unless you can. I'd love for you to do it, but you need at least 10 of the bubbles filled in on that concept map. So once you have that done, you can upload that to Google Classroom. So I'm going to give you some ideas of what some schema activity or activation techniques are. It could be like brainstorming, previewing chapter headings and bold words, quizzing yourself, creating a KWL chart. Those are things I'm looking for in your schema activation techniques. You might need to do some research on your own. As I said, this is our virtual student assignment for Monday. If you're not in class on Tuesday, you also need to complete this because this is what we're doing in class. All right, for Tuesday, for all our learners, watch our week in a nutshell and review class reading and work and make sure you're caught up on your work. For our virtual students, you're going to finish any of those Monday assignments to make sure that you're on track to go for the rest of the week. All right, for Wednesday, everybody's completing pages 117 and 118 in your study skills book, and you're going to post these to Google Classroom. So listen carefully, please. It says prior knowledge of something is called schema. Schema provides links for newer incoming information, making it easier to remember. Activating schema is a good pre-learning strategy because it improves comprehension, makes learning more meaningful, and fires up your brain's dendrites, axons, and synapses to link to new information. So let's do number 1 together. Your teacher just assigned a book called The Pearl. Other than the fact it was written by a guy named John Steinbeck, you know nothing about it. How can you build a schema for The Pearl? Okay. Let me clarify, you do not need the book The Pearl to answer this question. This would fit for any book that you're trying to activate schema for. How can you build schema for The Pearl? What can you do? You can preview the chapter titles. You can think about what you already know. Maybe you're familiar with John Steinbeck's work. You can brainstorm. You can quiz yourself about what you already know. Those are things that we want to know, just strategies you can do to build schema for a particular book. You don't need the book The Pearl to answer this question. So these are just putting yourself in situations on how to use schema to activate your prior knowledge. All right, for Thursday, all you have to do is complete page 119, which is our letter to our parent. Remember, all your information is found within your chapter. Some questions don't really have a right or wrong answer. It's kind of up to you, but there are definitely some of these that have a right answer. And I am looking to make sure that you're using your chapter to help you answer these questions. As always, have somebody sign it. So share it with a parent or an adult at home and kind of teach them about what we're learning about schema. And then post that to Google Classroom. So I say this every week, but just so you know, I get a lot of questions. If for some reason it doesn't say post it, unless it says to not post it to Google Classroom, just assume that you need to post your work so that I know that it's finished. And last but not least, we're going to apply these concepts from class. So actually the videos I was referring earlier in the video are here. So you're going to refresh your memory by watching these videos. You're going to take a look at what a KWL is and a concept map. There's a copy of a KWL here if you want to do it virtually or digitally. Otherwise, you can do it on paper and upload it. But what you're doing is you're going to complete a KWL and a concept map on something you're learning outside of study skills. So you'll have two separate posts for this assignment. So remember, our KWL is kind of a pre-reading strategy where you're telling me some things you already know about your topic, what you want to know, and then when you're done doing a little research, what you learned. And a concept map basically is you're starting with your subject in the middle, and then you're branching out to different ideas that represent. So like if it was schema and your outside bubbles, you might have activating background knowledge, brainstorming, using text headings, that kind of thing. So watch these videos to help you, but you'll have two separate pictures to upload for this assignment. You'll have one where you've completed a KWL on some topic you're learning about, and the other a concept map. It can be any subject. Maybe you're going to do a science topic. Maybe you're going to use, maybe you're learning about World War II and you're going to use that for one of the topics, but you're going to use something you're learning outside of study skills. I want you to apply these. We're to the point now you're going to be applying what we've learned to what you're doing outside of class. Okay, so check Friday's assignment post for specifics and more details. And as always, all homework's due Sunday by 11:59 p.m. Try to reach out before the weekend if you have any questions from last week's work. And something else I would suggest is that you go through all your assignments and make sure you have things turned in. If you've resubmitted or turned in things late and they have not been graded, please send me an email. Sometimes they get lost if they're turned in after the deadline, because I usually grade right away early in the week, and sometimes I might not see them if you either resubmit or submit them late. Just shoot me a friendly email and let me know, hey, Mrs. Steinberg, I need you to check over my work. I've got it in now. Last reminder is if for some reason you know you can't be here on Tuesday, remember you can jump on that Zoom Monday morning at 9:30. We'd love to have you to kind of touch base about what we're learning for this week. Let me know if you have any questions, and we will see everybody that's an in-person student on Tuesday, and my virtual students, I'll see you bright and early Monday morning. All right, see you at 9:30 virtual kids, and see you on Tuesday for my in-persons. All right, have a great week and enjoy the weather.